Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way.
How's it going, guys? Public Safety Network here today. Decided I was going to put out a video on security supervisors and 5 types of supervisors you're probably going to see in the security industry. So if you notice, this video is going to be a little different format. It's not going to be a road vlog like I usually do. I decided to kind of try to expand my video types, I guess you could say. And so this is going to be a little different. So right now we're going to go over 5 security supervisors that you're probably going to run into in the security industry. So number 1 is going to be the tyrant. The tyrant is a security supervisor who most likely promoted from a guard. And when they got a little taste of power, they just went to the extreme levels. They were usually okay as a guard. They may not have been the most liked, but they weren't severely disliked. But the second they became a supervisor, they took it to a whole new level and just instantly became drunk with power. These are the guys you see that belittle their subordinates in front of other people. They're the first one to throw their subordinates under the bus when questioned by management. And they also tend to be micromanagers, which means they're always looking over your shoulder, looking at every little thing that you do and making sure that you're doing it their way. They're pretty much drunk with power. They're dictators. And in all honesty, they're probably some of the worst security supervisors to work for. Next up, we're going to go with the chill supervisor. For the most part, he's a good supervisor. However, sometimes he can be a little laxed. He can allow guards to get away with things that, in all honesty, he probably should maybe not write them up for, but at least talk to them about. These guys may be guys that have been in the industry for a while and they're close to retirement, or they just have that very lackadaisical, laid-back attitude. So you'll run across these guys less frequently than the tyrants, but they do exist out there. Their big thing is they don't care what you do as long as you at least are being somewhat productive and you keep management off their back. As long as management isn't breathing down their neck, they, for the most part, don't care what you do as long as you're doing your job. And also, these guys tend to be people that are fun to hang around with outside of work. These are the supervisors you can go grab a beer with once the day is over. The third type is going to be the retired police officer / military. Now, with these types of supervisors, they can be either good or bad. Bad mentality-wise is these guys, in their minds, they are retired, which means that they are here strictly for whatever reason. Supplemental income to their pension, medical benefits, but in their minds, they are still retired even though they are currently working. They will avoid doing really any real work. I mean, they obviously will fulfill their supervisory obligations, but they are not going to go above and beyond to do anything extra outside of what they're actually required to do. And this is an example of a bad supervisor with this mentality. Now, on the flip side of this, there is a good version of this, and it will actually be combined with another supervisor, probably we might talk about a little later. But the good side of these is they can be great mentors, especially for younger guards that have interest in getting into the military or getting into law enforcement. They can be very, very good at kind of giving you insider tips and tracks on how to do certain things to make yourself, you maybe do better in the academy, maybe make yourself a better candidate for hiring. They're a wealth of knowledge. They even if they specialize in something, they may have a wealth of knowledge in specific types of jobs, either military or law enforcement, that they can talk about. And also they can be very good for connections. Especially if they see that you're a hard worker, they have a good work ethic, that in all honesty they feel that you would make a good whatever you decide to do. They can be very good at connecting you with people who can expedite the process, especially if you're looking to, say, get hired in with a law enforcement agency that's a little more competitive. Knowing people that work for that agency, especially if they were a higher level in the administration staff, where they could have been like a lieutenant, captain, whatever. Those guys tend to have a lot of weight when it comes to applying for police departments, and so having them hook you up with people and maybe even giving a reference can a lot of times give you a leg up when you're trying to get on with these more competitive departments. Number 4 is going to be the kiss ass. And now, honestly, there's kiss asses in every job. These are the guys that are constantly sitting in the manager's office, or the ones who are always kind of sniffing around looking for their next promotion. They're trying to get a leg up. They're pretty much the gopher for the manager. They do pretty much whatever the manager asks without question, even if he necessarily doesn't agree with it himself. These guys, pretty much the only thing on their mind is getting their next promotion or taking over that manager spot once that manager either moves up, retires, quits for whatever reason. So they can constantly be found hanging around the manager's office, hanging around with executive staff like directors and whatnot. So this is where you will most likely find these guys. Another place you can typically find them is standing behind the manager when he's addressing the guards. If the manager comes in and says, hey, I need to talk to everyone in here, you're going to see the supervisor most likely standing behind them, pretty much just nodding his head in agreement at whatever the manager says. These guys necessarily may not be bad supervisors. They could still be attentive and somewhat decent supervisors, but they tend to sometimes neglect their actually supervisory duties in favor of chasing promotions and hanging out with the managers. Typical phrases that they utter is either yes sir or ma'am to pretty much anything that is said, or right away. It's very similar to phrasing of like a butler. So they pretty much are the butler for the manager. And they'll pretty much do or say anything to stay on management's good side, even if they know it's going to be at the cost of their guards. In all honesty, that is what makes them not an effective supervisor, is they care more about their own needs than, the needs of their guards. And when you're a supervisor, your guards don't work for you, you work for them. Your job is to make them as an effective force as possible. And so that's what makes a good supervisor. And that's one of these skills that the kiss ass lacks greatly. And then the last one is going to be, I guess you could say, the gold nugget of supervisors. They are incredibly rare, but when you get one, you know that it's going to be okay. And that's the leader. The leader is someone who leads by example. He does everything that his guards do, and a lot of times he'll do even more. This is the guy that checks on you when he makes rounds. In between getting his admin paperwork done, he always makes sure that everything that he needs to do from a supervisory standpoint is done, whether it's payroll, whether it's evaluations, whether it's, making sure that, vacation time or whatever is approved when it needs to be done. This is the all-star supervisor who does what he can to make sure that, his guys are effective, that his squad is, up to par, that make sure their training's complete, pretty make sure that they work together as a cohesive unit, that they work together well, and that, that they're taken care of. Because when you take care of your guards, they're going to be more productive, they're going to be more effective, they're going to cut down a lot on sick time, on unnecessary PTO, things like that, when you make sure that they are taken care of. So these are the guards that are not above grunt work. They will do exactly what you expect. They'll unlock doors. They'll take calls for service. They'll, man a post. They'll do all of these things if they can, because they're not above doing what the guards do. They would never ask of their guards things they would not do themselves. And so that's what makes them such a great supervisor. They're also the type of supervisor that will have their guards back when they're right. If they feel that the guard is right and that, they've been wronged in some way, they will have their back. They will defend them, even to the utmost manager. And I've had supervisors like this who, to the owner of the company, to the director of operations, whatever, they have defended me saying, no, he is in the right, and they'll have your back. But they're on the flip side, they're also not going to be afraid to give you a talking to or a boot in the rear if you need it. If you mess up and you did something wrong, whether it was intentional, whether it was an accident, these are the guys that are going to give you the talking to that you need, but it's not going to be a belittling. It's not going to be, a yelling. It's a lot of times just going to be a kind of sit down and be like, this is what you did wrong. This is how you need to fix it. So just that. And then also they make work enjoyable. They make it so that you want to come to work every day, that you don't fear going into work because you're going to have to deal with that one supervisor that nobody likes. So overall, these are the best types of supervisors to have. However, they are incredibly rare in this industry. So if you get one, you might want to hold on to them a little bit. So that's all I have for today, guys. I know I've been kind of lax with putting out videos. I've just been having some stuff going on. And so I'm going to try to kind of make up for that and put out more videos as I go along. Like I said, tell us about the types of supervisors that you guys have had. Do they fit any of this list? Or are they ones that are completely different from this list? You know, if I get enough of them, I could probably make a part 2 to this. But go ahead and throw them down in the comment section below, and also throw down in the comment section below whether you like this new format of video. You know, if people like it, then I'll probably keep doing it this way. If they don't, then I might just go back to just doing strictly road vlogs. But, you know, thanks for watching, guys. I've kind of had some ups and downs with the channel, but it's good to see that it's kind of getting back on track to where it needs to be. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you haven't already, you know, give the video a like, subscribe, you know, make sure you hit the icon bell. And then also watch all the other videos if you haven't yet. So go ahead and check it out, guys, and thanks for watching.